What's up, guys? It's your boy Slurped PDF, and today we're gonna go through some of my sketchbooks. This sketchbook was 2016, and it was for my intro to art class. So this was mainly for Art 101. First, I wanted the sketchbook to be super nice and have all these illustrated pages, but then my teacher was like, "No, you gotta use it as a sketchbook and do all these practices." I did some more stuff, and then I drew this. And then he saw my sketchbook and he was like, if you want to pass, you got to do more blind hand contour drawings. So most of the sketchbooks is just practice. This was just a little skeleton ape that I thought of. I think I wanted to like make it look like he was being brainwashed. So I gave him little headphones. Let's see. This was another drawing. I think it was a doodle and philosophy class, and I was really into stairs. And I was really into just like combining and playing around with shapes. So most of these are just doodles and just like trying to combine things. And I was also into patterns at this time. And I think 2016, so I was about 18 when I had this sketchbook. So that was like almost like 5 years ago. And I believe that was like my third year into drawing. And I've gotten way better at drawing at this point. But yeah, so these are just more blind hand contour drawings. I had to do a lot of these in my art class, and did they help? Well, they got me loose, I guess. And then at this point in class, we were starting to do more breaking down 3D shapes. So it was just a bunch of circles, and I was playing around with 2-point perspectives and just trying to draw all the volume of everything, almost like an X-ray. And then if you go over here, just more basic fundamentals, not worrying about shading. I think that's like a NyQuil bottle, that's like a soda can. You know, I still had a lot to learn. This is 1 point perspective, and this is just more trees I was trying to go on. And then as you see, I kept on using these little circles. That was just so I can have like a basic 3D form of the shapes. And here we go, more 3D practice. You know, I wasn't really too good at it at the time, but this kind of just shows like how much you kind of have to practice things to get them almost like on lock slash like it's more of a muscle memory. So, you know, and then I took it to stairs, kind of practice with like more shapes. You know, this is a page full of cubes, just a bunch of cubes. And now this is a page full of cups and cylinders, and honestly, as much as I want to meme on it, learning how to draw like 3D objects such as the circle and the cube will get you pretty far. And I feel like even though like it doesn't really look too impressive here, I do use that fundamental a lot. And yeah, more triangles. Now this is more hand contour, so you're trying to get the shape of the hand with just using lines. This is our more contour phase. Here they're like, oh yeah, make sure on the edges you thicken up the line so it looks more 3D and practice your line weight. So we're still trying to get the weight of an object without using shading at all. And you know, more contours. And then at this point of class, we were doing more of a gestural drawing. So like these were super quick, like one line, and you're just trying to get the essence of an object. Sometimes I use this, but I don't really use gesture that much. It's good to get like a quick flow, but honestly, I think this was just me try to get a decent grade, and I didn't really care too much. I did all this within like 10 minutes, just trying to make it look like I did a lot. And then our first project was like taking 3 objects and trying to draw it. No shading still. He didn't want us to shade. He just wanted us to draw it with the pen and try to get the shape, play with line weight. So he made us do it 3 times and then would actually draw it. This was like a sketch of the earlier skeleton ape I did a while back. Did it again, and you know, it's kind of crazy looking back how much I've improved, because oh yeah, it's crazy. And it's like you don't see the improvement until you like stop and look back at your earlier work and you're like, dang, I lived like that. But you know, that's a good thing. So now this is practicing 2-point perspective, where essentially you would just like take an edge and draw it to each of these edges. The closer it is, the more like fish-eye, more dramatic it is. And the farther you put these two dots, the less dramatic that angle is. Yeah, these are still 2-point perspectives, and honestly, I use this a lot for drawing my backgrounds, and it's a good skill to learn. Let's see, more 2-point perspective. This time I tried doing 1-point perspective with the hand, and still learning. This is just a little storyboard. We had like this animation contest that me and my friend were doing. So this was just like a little 1-minute short I was thinking of, but we never produced it. More 2-point perspectives. This one I was just trying to make him look into more like a cutout. Let's see. More 3D work. I think this is 1-point perspective. And let's see. 2-point perspective. And then my tree idea again. It wasn't about like making good drawings at this point. It was just more like getting that muscle memory and just being able to kind of ingrain it and do it fast. And you know, looking back, I hated it, but now I definitely use this stuff a lot more, and it is good fundamentals. More perspective stuff. All right, and now this was the fun part because we got to play with ink pretty much. So we would like have this little bottle of ink. We'll like we'll put it in some water and then dip our brushes into it. I think at this point we were practicing values. So, you know, we're trying to get basic 3D shapes with it. This project was like drawing a pineapple or like a fruit with just ink. So pretty soon you'll see, yeah, that was like the little indica bottle of ink that we use, some erasers. And like, I think the cool thing about ink is like you can kind of like use it almost like paint and just brush it, and it has a very loose feeling to it, which I like about ink, but I never experimented too much with it. And then yeah, this is my pineapple project where I was just kind of sketching pineapples, more pineapples, and then more pineapples. I think I was like practicing getting the silhouette of it. And then after the pineapples, we were doing more value scales. And this time we were practicing getting values with like, trying to get the whole range of values with different ways through like cross-hatching, through blending, through ink wash. Honestly, it was kind of busy work. More values. And I think this was just graphite. And I think at this point, trying to draw things without lines for me is pretty hard. And honestly, like even when I do paint, I like always end up using like a quick little liner and all that details, and you know, I'll slowly get better at it. But yeah, this is now just more eggs, a bunch of balls and spherical, trying to get the basic shades. This was just a quick little skull doodle with arrows. I think at this point in my art journey, I really like doing arrows for some reason. I think it was more of like a composition thing, and it helped like draw attention to stuff. That's an attempt at a lion I drew. A horrible attempt. More eggs. More eggs. I think I was trying to do like a logo or something. Let's see. A TV man sketch that I never finished. More, I think live drawing. I'm trying to practice shading this time. More live drawings of like 2 books and a cup. I think this was like a radio microphone. I think it was like start of an axe. I don't know. Let's see. More 2-point upside down chair. More hands. I was really trying to get good at hands, but at that point I never really understood how like the hand was broken down, and I still struggle with hands a lot. More shapes. And then let's see, I think this was just a fun drawing. So I originally drew this, and then I went into Photoshop. I got so excited when I found like splatter brushes. I was like, oh cool. So I used the shit out of splatter brushes, completely nuked. The funny thing is like I drew all of this in Photoshop, and then I took my like splatter masking brush and just nuked the whole thing. But I really like the original, and like looking back, that's kind of decent, but I don't know. I think I was still learning Photoshop, and like my earlier works, I still had like a lot of saturated colors, and I think I was still using a mouse. So that was like drawn with the mouse. I was like trying to draw like faces. At this point in my career, I was really horrible with like drawing female faces. I can draw ugly dudes all day long, but trying to get a female face was pretty hard. Let's see. This is just a skull jellyfish. I think I saw like an idea on Dribble. I was just trying to copy it pretty much. Let's see. Ooh. This was like for a screen printing art or screen printing project, but you know, it's like a cat dude being carried by little slave dudes and little money cat. Similar idea. I think that was a logo design. The funny thing is, so this is like my pilot for my comic that I've been working on for GMO World, except now it's like nothing compared to this. Like there's still similarities, but like it's changed so much that it looks nothing like this. But this was like the very, very early concept where I had like this annoying dwarf dude and the man of reason. And yeah, so this was just like all my storyboarding ideas and just trying to, I heavily ripped off Unforgotten Realms, which was like an early Flash cartoon. But yeah, so this was just me like trying to draw a bunch of like concept art. I think this was like the first like pilot episode I was like thinking. If you like read this and like compare it to like the first episode of my comic, it's very similar. I pretty much took the whole idea from this area, but you know, refined it and refined it and refined it. But yeah, this is like a whole episode slash pilot that I was just drawing. Let's see. This is Sonic hanging himself, SpongeBob licking Shrek's nipples, and a buff Pokemon. I think Diglett. Buff Diglett. I think at this point, I was like, oh, what if I made a bunch of meme drawings and I'd get Instagram famous by drawing all these disgusting meme characters of cool cartoons. But I ended up only drawing these two, and then I got bored, so I stopped doing that. This is just more doodles. This was a concept for a little mural I painted back home. I think this was another concept. I wanted to practice drawing like more octopuses and like puffer fishes. Dreamcatcher, and this is me trying to practice drawing women's faces, and as you can see, they look like aliens. They look like monkey aliens. That one was pretty decent, but I think I traced it on my phone screen, and then I tried to take it to I tried to, you know, free-handed it and super botched it. You know, just the way it goes. That's learning. I think just a clown shooting himself. That was like the Borderland pose. More weird designs, drawing shapes. I like gears and arrows. Gears and arrows, this is kind of the stuff I would draw to like turn off my brain and just doodle, which, you know, it's helped me a lot as far as like filling in random spaces, and like I think it's a good tool to have, being able just to doodle stuff. Sexy Avocado Man. And this is the end of my first sketchbook. I think this took around 2 years to fill up. Most of it was for classwork, but I would say my biggest advice would be, you know, keep your artwork, because it's like very easy to get discouraged when you look online and there's so many people that are just way better at it. But at the same time, they may have 20 years under their belt while you only have 2 years. And honestly, like, it's just the process, man. And like, eventually you'll find your way. Just keep all your sketches, keep all of your stuff, and just keep on drawing. And then 2 years down the line, you'll look back and you'll realize how much you improved. And that's the most important part. So anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys want to see more of my sketchbooks, like my 2017 and up, leave it in the comment. I hope you guys like this change up in series. I'll probably be doing more like shirt stuff in the future. But anyways, have a good one, guys.